I don't want to have reservation over James Omotosho yet. I don't want to look from the other angle of it. I don't want to know whether he is being placed there for a certain process that will lead to Nnamdi Kanu going to jail, because we know the source James Omotosho came from. You know, we know the kind of judgment he passed in Rivers State recently, or when before Fubara was suspended. You know, and there has been this link between him and Wike and the rest of them. You know, but that is not what we are looking at. We just want the viewers to look at those areas we just highlighted now and begin to dig deep. You know, what James Omotosho is actually going to stand for in continuation, you know, of open trial or trial of Nnamdi Kanu. Like you can see in the video, you know, the IPOB leader, I can see him confident, fearless, bold, you know, ready to confront whatever it is in the court, you know, based on the body language of James Omotosho, the presiding judge, you know. But I think for now, the hooded witness, whether it's a Hamas man, whether it's a Fulani man, whether it's a DSS man, or whether it's Malami, or whether it is whoever it is there that was hooded, you know, to testify against Nnamdi Kanu, whatever it is. I think to an extent we are seeing that come and gone, and there was no concrete thing that he was able to establish, apart from telling the story that he was ordered to go to Festag, Golden Tole, where Nnamdi Kanu was, and pick whatever he want to pick and then arrest him. That was the target. You know, this happened over 10 years ago. But come to the reality, what Nnamdi Kanu actually stood for, you know, and he has not hidden it, you know, anywhere, any day. And the international organizations, you know, has it that mostly lawyers, you know, has it that they can never, Nnamdi Kanu is not supposed to be facing trial in whatever form, no matter what it is, because his right as a human being has already been violated. You know, the criminality of the Nigerian government, that issue needs to be treated first. Nnamdi Kanu already, we heard that the Kenyan government are already warming up to pay whatever compensation they want to pay in that regard. But you can see what is playing out in Nigeria. Buhari kept Nnamdi Kanu, just the Fulanis kept him there just because he said, you people are infiltrating and killing. And there's no how, you know, the Igbo cannot look at the way, the manner the infiltration was coming, the target, the plan, what they intend to achieve with the killing, you know, the advancement, you know, the eastern Nigeria, the old eastern province, you know, we are Christians. They are Christians. They are not Muslims. Now, what is the Fulani looking at? What are they looking for? You know, they have enough forest there to graze, so it is no longer grazing, you know, and this one has gone beyond grazing. And unfortunately, I want justice. I wish that with this video we get to James, you know, or Omotosho himself, and let me ask him questions, because I realize he's from Southwest, probably Ondo State, you know, where he came from. Are people not dying? What is the essence of establishing an Omoteku? What is it to do what? Omoteku, are they going to face the Fulani herdsmen with that gun? That's the question. You know, you understand? But all this whole paparazzi that is centered on Nnamdi Kanu baffles a lot of people and ridicule the judicial image, the judicial system in Nigeria. You know, has become a mockery. We saw that a Ghanaian chief judge flew into Nigeria in solidarity, you know, for what Nnamdi Kanu has actually been going through. You know, we saw the Cameroon government do the same thing. We saw, you know, what outside Nigeria, for instance, you know, you're talking about people that even brought the issue of legal studies back here in Nigeria, you know, and making statements about what is actually happening and what the law says, what the international law said about rendition, kidnapping, you know, criminality committed by the Nigerian government. You know, so on that note now, so we are just looking at what everything Nnamdi Kanu, every evidence and video, you know, of what Nnamdi Kanu said as at that time was centered on the same thing the DSS man currently saying that everybody should defend himself. In federal government, are they not saying that Danjuma, T.Y. Danjuma, is even due for arrest? Because the court, the university, are they not saying they must defend themselves? What's the meaning of that? You understand? DSS boss are giant too, making it very clearly that Nigeria have lost it. No, then if Nigeria is secured, why are over hundreds of thousands of army barracks are being attacked and brought down by the same people? Look at the recent one that happened in Borno. Everything is being shut down, completely destroyed, and barracks. Then what happened to people? These are people who are supposed to be protective, but look at how the barracks are being run down. Then talk less of ordinary citizens. Who is going to protect them? So what Nigerian state want to hear is that at every point in time, the Igbos are being killed and nobody can stand up to challenge it. Is that what they want? So we fold their arms and be killed. Just like what they did. I thank God that we have not forgotten over 6 million Igbos that was murdered during the Nigerian Biafran war.
Before we get there, but we've heard the DSS board publicly come out, even Danjuma himself, you mentioned his name not too long ago, he said, all these people, they've come out to see what Nnamdi Kanu have said previously, that Nigerians should defend themselves. But what they said and what Nnamdi Kanu said, I don't think there's any difference to what they said. And we want the terrorism going on in Nigeria, the constant killings of innocent farmers and Christians. Do you not think the Nigerian government should at least have this conscience that what Nnamdi Kanu said is the truth, and that's what is manifesting?
And it will be a shame. It will be a shame on the side of James Omotosho himself, to look at evidence and the national consciousness of Nigeria and happenings in Nigeria, what is going on in Nigeria, and look at it from that perspective. Nnamdi Kanu is worth celebrating, because he saw it then and was able to alert the entire world. But unfortunately, he's coming from the eastern part of the country, and Igbo man is not relevant. But today, it has become relevant. It is only few of them that is Nasu Rock that are not celebrating Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The entire world, the Africanism, the entire Africa, just like what is happening in Burkina Faso today, is celebrating him, because as at that time, people never believed what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was talking about, that it will ever happen, that we came to a point, everybody will be running haters scatter, including the police and the army. So you see the reason why they are saying, okay, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu statement is this and that, is that those who are calling for defense, everyone should defend themselves. What are they doing? Are they inciting, or are they trying to defend themselves? They can use any grammar, to whatever they feel at this point in time. Is that James Omotosho himself is a human being. These people were also people died too. What did Akandelo do when they were killing people in the state? Didn't you go about and say how you're going to defend these people at the end of the day? And that's what happened. So this kind of game, okay, yeah, it's stressing trial, but the trial is still seen, as victimization, as persecution, it's pure persecution. You understand? But you can see the man there is standing tall and is not saying anything. And of course, if Omotosho himself is very sensitive to the consciousness of the entire Nigeria, and of course what the governors has been reporting about IPOB. IPOB has never been a violent organization. Recently, the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, came out and make it very clearly that people that he witnessed and he saw from evidence surrounding him, that IPOB was not involved in the killing of anybody, including Ahmed Gulag. And you remember, there was a video that was made by the same Ahmed Gulag, pointing to one particular man in government that has threatened to kill him by all means. But unfortunately, they planted this thing in the eastern part of the country so that it will look like it was IPOB that actually disallowed Ahmed Gulag. That was not true. IPOB was not involved, and that has been confirmed by the governor of that state. So you see the infiltration that is going on. They're already in the forest. You can see videos of Fulani receiving so many support, whoever they are, but I can tell you the truth that the system that bred them are still in the leadership position in Aso Rock.
Okay, and finally, we've seen the Biafrans, declare 20th, 29th, and 30th as sit at home, for the fallen heroes of the people that lost their life during the Biafra civil war. Do you think? But a lot of people have come and they say there's a division as regards. They said even the governors in the southeast have not declared. At least by now, they also be talking about it by declaring, this sit at home on that day. But what's your take as regards them declaring 29 and 30th? But Nigerian government have also come out and said that that they will not be sit at home. What's your take as regards?
Of course, what do they expect the Nigerian government to react? That we should just sit down and be doing nothing on May 30 when a day where people gave their life in defense of the Igbo nation, in defense of Biafrans, both south and southeast. We lost over 6 million Biafrans in that war, and it was a needless war if Gowon has respected himself. And it was a necessity that defined the Igbo agenda. It was a necessity that gave Igbo man an identity. It was a necessity that uncovered the mystery of the ingenuity of the Igbo people. The first black race to discover and build and manufacture, the first black race in the continent of Africa to build a nuclear bomb without a white man's input. So many ingenuity is credited to the Igbos during the war. But that has become what it is. Will I say that Gowon's incompetence gave birth to the identity of the Igbos? Yes, we lost that war, if actually we lost that war. But I can tell you, from the horse's mouth, it was a ceasefire. And that ceasefire was allowed for a kind of reconciliation. But unfortunately, it never happened. So, assuming it is a situation of ceasefire, it never happened. Well, the psychological war is still going on between Nigeria and, of course, Biafrans. And that is why we have come to the point that, instead of becoming a slave, it's better we become a slave in our own land. And that is what we are talking about. That the world should understand and show solidarity according to United Nations. We have gone to war. That's what the United States, and we have gone to war, and they have seen it. We fought. And even though Nigeria was being power supported by almost all the world powers, Biafra stood against the world for years, and they still survived. Today, Biafrans are all over the world, adding value to the global community, being the foundation of most technology we are experiencing today. Biafrans are behind it, the Igbo people. So, and I think any Biafran, any Igbo man, anywhere they are all over the world, they should raise their head up for the late warlord Chukwuemeka Odumegwu for that insight and that courage. He was a courageous man, and it was a signal that was sent to the world that Biafra remain African world superpower in those time to come. We celebrate them, 3 years, 4 years of war without arms. The Biafrans went to the war without having a single arms, to defend themselves. They went there with their bare hands, and you saw what the world recorded between Nigeria and Biafra war. So nobody can take that 30th away, and let the governors do whatever they like, whatever they, the people, have taken it upon themselves that this is what we are and that is what we represent. All over the world, even in Israel, even in Russia, even in America, they map out a day for their fallen heroes. And we, as a nation, as a sovereignty that are seeking solidarity from the global world, from the world powers, are still saying that at this point in time, that come whatever it is, whether they like it or not, there should be at least a day.
Because of this incessant killings, many Nigerians are no longer comfortable. Many Nigerians are no longer have peace. Many Nigerians are angry over what is happening. As you can see now in Nigeria, both the DG, the former governor, everybody, the ministers, everybody are coming up. Defend yourself anyhow you can defend yourself. Police cannot be everywhere. Army cannot be everywhere. Arise and these are the kind of song you want Captain Ibrahim Traore, you know, and his people to be singing in his country. No, he doesn't need such music. It is better he curb them now that it is early before they will go out of hand. Do you understand me? So those people that Ibrahim Traore men by are terrorists, as far and as long as I am concerned. And let me tell you, when you ask the military personnel in Burkina Faso, what did they tell you? They said that they killed terrorists, Fulani terrorists. That's the people that they killed. See, over there it's not like Nigeria, because in Nigeria here, look at the one they call hunters. The same hunters have turned to hunt human beings. In Europe, remember after the jungle justice of 16 of them, they said they were hunters coming from this, going to this. You are traveling and you are carrying gun. What are you doing with the gun? And at the end of the day, what happened? After some days, the same hunters, about 4 of them, was caught in a hotel. What is a hunter doing in a hotel? And after some days again, the same hunters caught in the hotel hunt a whole family, mother, father, and daughter and son, and they begin to demand for ransom.
Yeah, we saw in Ghana last month where the mayor of Accra said, if you see any Fulani cow roaming about the state, you can slaughter the cow and use for pepper soup. We've seen in South African Republic, CAR, it means Central African Republic, how they have banned the Fulanis. Why can't Nigeria ban the Fulani S-men? I'm talking about S-men from grazing on people's farm, or instead build a ranch for them. Why are we still practicing a system of grazing that's as old as in the olden days, instead of doing this new thing? Why are the Fulani so powerful in Nigeria?
Fulani become so powerful in Nigeria because Nigeria give them the hand to become powerful. Because the people who saw this vision coming, who saw this dream coming, who saw this Fulanization coming, who saw this jihadist colonialism coming, they stood against it, including the Yorubas. They join hands together and say this is Igbophobia, and Igbophobia, they say this is Biafran coup, Igbo coup. The coup that took place in 1966, they call it Igbo coup. And when I said it, and I brought the list to Philip TV when they invited me, and I showed the list, how many were the generals, the people involved in that queue? There were 14 in number. 4 Yorubas, 2 Igbo, Ifajuna, 1 Efik, 1 Bini, 2 Fulanis. But at the end of the day, they target what? Igbo queue. When I said it, nobody believed it. Until when IPOB, Ibrahim Babangida, now one of his book, he put it there. It was written in one of his books. That's when Nigerians begin to believe on that which I have seen. So Nigerians have allowed themselves to be swallowed. You understand? They have allowed themselves to be captured by these Fulani people. So Nigeria did not have remedy again over the Fulanis. The only thing and the only option for this Fulanization, for Nigeria to be redeemed and to be delivered from the hands of Fulanization, is to break up. Take it or you leave it. Everybody go your way. Let Nigeria stay and let Biafra stay. Then if Oduduwa too, because Oduduwa too, Oduduwa Congress, that's the Yorubas too, contributed to this. Because they believe that they are the one after Fulani, they are the next to benefit from the government. Igbos are not benefiting, that is why they are complaining. We are not complaining because we are not benefiting, because God is still blessing the Igbos. Igbos are still waxing strong, waxing great. Anywhere they find themselves, you can see, even in Lagos State, you can see them waxing stronger. That is the nature of Igbo man, the blessings from the Lord. But the Yoruba, look at what happened. They are killing. Why I say Yorubas are contributing to this? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going to court. Mighty Allah is working freely. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu under DSS. Abakari is traveling and coming freely. Nobody is disturbing him. Herdsmen are moving here and there, taking people's life and destroying property. But IPOB, they call them what? Indigenous people of Biafra, they call them what? Terrorists. That is Nigeria for you. Under which what? Under which government? Under Yoruba man government. They were called and tagged what? The terrorists again. You know, when the Fulani was there, we believe that we are enemies. Our enemies can give us any name. But now, what about now that Yoruba man has become the president of Nigeria? The same thing come up. What is the herdsmen? Look at them. Yesterday, it was yesterday in Borno. How many of the military lodges was the military was dislodged yesterday? About 4 of their camp was dislodged, and about 4 military was killed yesterday in Borno State. What is federal government doing? What have they said? Nothing. But they are mustering themselves against the Igbos. If you mention IPOB in Nigeria, we will come against it. It's against the law. But you can mention Mighty Allah. You can mention Fulani herdsmen. They are the one that have freedom. But Nnamdi Kanu to end in DSS.
But Mighty Allah threatened yesterday. It's on the papers. It's even on this platform, so you can go and watch it. Mighty Allah threatened, if you injure any of our herdsmen, we will declare total war against you. Yet Allah said that.
Mighty Allah declare total war against anybody that injure or touch any Fulani person, any herdsman. They are threatening in the government of Yoruba man. And nothing has happened. But they are Yorubas and the Nigerian army, they are threatening Igbos because we want to do what? Give respect to our fallen heroes. Come May 30th of this very month, in this very year, they are mustering up. Say that kind of thing should not be held. But they are holding June 12th, and they forget that the June 12th they are talking about, somebody paid the price. Igbo man paid that price to announce. Do you know what it means under the military for somebody to come out and announce the winner in June 12th? Under the military regime, somebody sacrificed